Yo, America! We all know the US presidential election is a big deal. It's like the Super Bowl, the World Cup, and the Oscars all rolled into one giant chaotic spectacle. And just like those events, there's a whole lot of glitz, glamour, and yeah, let's be honest, straight up luxury involved. We're talking private jets, fancy dinners, rallies that look like rock concerts. The works. But it wasn't always this way. The way candidates campaign today is a far cry from how things used to be, even just a few decades ago. So buckle up, because we're about to take a wild ride through the evolution of campaign luxury, from the old-school charm of the 1950s to the high-flying, tech-driven campaigns of today. Picture this. It's 1952, and a young, charismatic senator named John F. Kennedy is running for president. He's shaking hands in town squares, giving speeches from the back of trains, and his wife Jackie is charming everyone with her elegance. Now, don't get me wrong, JFK came from a wealthy family, but campaigns back then were a different beast. Sure, there were fancy dinners with big-time donors, but it wasn't the non-stop extravaganza we see today. Candidates spent most of their time connecting with everyday folks. Think about it. No social media, no 24/7 news cycle, just good old-fashioned door-to-door campaigning and speeches broadcast on the radio. It was a time when a firm handshake and a catchy slogan could take you a long way. Fast forward to today and the game has changed, my friends. Campaigns are multi-million-dollar operations, and the race to the White House has become a whirlwind of extravagance. We're talking private jets, Michelin star chefs, catering rallies, and enough campaign swag to fill a stadium. So how did we get here? Well, a few things happened. First, the cost of campaigning skyrocketed with the rise of television and later the internet. Second, campaign finance laws loosened, allowing for super PACs and mega donors to flex their financial muscles. The result? Campaigns became bigger, flashier, and yes, a whole lot more luxurious. And nobody knows how to campaign luxuriously quite like the 45th president, Donald J. Trump. Now, love him or hate him, you gotta admit, Donald Trump knows how to put on a show. His 2016 campaign was a masterclass in using wealth and extravagance to project an image of success and power. Remember those massive rallies? Thousands of people all chanting his name while Trump descended from his private jet like a conquering hero? And who could forget those gold-plated everything at Trump Tower? Even his campaign events reeked of luxury. We're talking prime rib dinners, diamond-encrusted hats, the whole 9 yards. Trump understood the power of image, and he wasn't afraid to spend big to create the one he wanted. Whether it was effective or not, well, that's a debate for another day. Obama's Air Force One soirees. But hey, it's not just about throwing money around. Sometimes luxury is about access, about experiencing things most people can only dream of. And that's where Barack Obama comes in. Sure, Obama was known for his down-to-earth charm, but let's be real. Being president of the United States comes with some serious perks. We're talking Air Force One, the most exclusive private jet in the world. And Obama knew how to use it. Imagine getting an invite to a fundraiser aboard Air Force One. You're sipping cocktails, rubbing shoulders with celebrities, and oh yeah, the President of the United States is casually strolling around shaking hands and cracking jokes. That's next-level luxury right there. It can come in many forms. Kamala Harris and the power of connection. Now let's talk about Kamala Harris. As the first female vice president, she brought a different kind of energy to the campaign trail. For Harris, it wasn't about opulent displays of wealth, but about connecting with people on a personal level. Sure, there were fancy fundraisers and private jets because, let's face it, that's just part of the game these days. But Harris also made a point of visiting local businesses, attending community events, and really listening to people's concerns. She understood that sometimes the greatest luxury is genuine human connection. Okay, let's be real for a second. No conversation about campaign luxury would be complete without talking about the transportation. We're talking private jets, helicopters, motorcades that stretch for miles, the whole shebang. These aren't just any vehicles, they're top-of-the-line, state-of-the-art machines designed for comfort and security. Imagine this. You're a candidate on the campaign trail. You wake up in a luxurious hotel suite with all the amenities you could dream of. Plush bedding, room service, and a view that takes your breath away. Then you hop on your private jet, fly to a rally, get whisked away in a limo complete with tinted windows and a minibar, and do it all again the next day. It's a grueling schedule packed with back-to-back events, speeches, and meet and greets, but hey, at least you're traveling in style, right? The luxury of the transport makes the hectic pace a bit more bearable. And let's not forget about the Secret Service. Those guys are the unsung heroes, or maybe villains, depending on who you ask, of campaign luxury. They're always there in the background, making sure everything goes off without a hitch. They're the ones making sure everything runs smoothly, from coordinating motorcades to securing venues. It's a logistical nightmare involving countless hours of planning and coordination, but someone's got to do it. Their meticulous attention to detail ensures that the candidate can focus on what really matters, connecting with the voters and spreading their message. Now let's talk tech, because no modern campaign is complete without it. We're talking state-of-the-art sound systems, high-definition video walls, and social media teams working around the clock to craft the perfect message. Remember those Obama campaigns? They were light years ahead of the game when it came to using technology to connect with voters. From targeted Facebook ads to personalized emails, they knew how to use data to get their message in front of the right people. And then you have the rise of social media influencers. These days, it's not enough to just have a catchy slogan and a good website. You need to be on TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, you name it. And you better have some seriously engaging content if you want to stand out from the crowd. Now here's the thing about all this luxury. It ain't cheap. These events are designed to dazzle and impress, but behind the glitz and glamour lies a hefty price tag. Running for president costs a lot of money, and we're not just talking about those fancy dinners and private jets. The expenses pile up quickly, and it's not just the visible extravagance that drains the coffers. We're talking about paying staff, renting out venues, producing TV ads. The list goes on and on. Every campaign needs a dedicated team working around the clock, strategizing, planning, and executing. And where does all that money come from? Well, that's a whole other can of worms. We've got individual donors, corporations, PACs, and more. Each source of funding comes with its own set of expectations and influences. Super PACs, it's enough to make your head spin. These organizations can raise and spend unlimited amounts of money, often with little transparency. And this is where things get controversial. The sheer volume of money flowing into campaigns raises questions about fairness and integrity. See, some people argue that all this money in politics gives too much power to special interests and undermines democracy. They worry that the voices of ordinary citizens are drowned out by the roar of big money. Others say it's just the cost of doing business in the 21st century. They argue that running a modern campaign requires significant resources, and there's no way around it. Either way, there's no denying that campaign finance is a complex issue with no easy answers. It's a tangled web of money, influence, and power, and navigating it requires both savvy and scrutiny. So, there you have it. A whirlwind tour of campaign luxury. From the days of shaking hands and kissing babies when politics seemed simpler and more personal, to the high-tech, high-stakes world of modern politics where social media and technology play a crucial role in reaching voters. But here's the thing, while all the glitz and glamour can be entertaining, it's important to remember what really matters. The true essence of a campaign isn't in the lavish events or the sparkling decorations. At the end of the day, elections are about ideas, about the policies that will impact our daily lives, and the vision for the future of our communities and our country. It's about choosing the leader who will shape the future of the country, someone who resonates with the hopes and dreams of the people. And while fancy dinners and private jets might grab headlines, they are just the surface. The real work happens behind the scenes. They shouldn't distract us from the real issues at stake, the policies and decisions that will affect our lives for years to come. So next time you see a candidate stepping off a private jet, remember that the true measure of a campaign isn't in its luxury. Or attending a star-studded fundraiser, it's easy to get caught up in the spectacle. But remember that behind the facade of luxury, there's a whole lot more going on. Dedicated teams are working tirelessly, strategizing and connecting with voters. Because in the end, it's not about how much money you spend, or the grandeur of your events, or how many celebrities you know. It's about the substance of your message and the authenticity of your campaign. It's about earning the trust and support of the American people, connecting with them on a personal level, and addressing their concerns and aspirations.